You are now listening to Sports Talk 916 with Greg Bull and Coach Greg Veroza.
If you are... Hello. Hey, what's happening, guys? It's Sunday night. It's episode 218 of Sports Talk 916. My name is Coach Greg Veroza. I'm one of the two-headed monsters of Greg that we call Sports Talk 916. Right there is my buddy, Mr. Chief, Greg Bull.
What
kind
up?
of a new. I don't know if I'm used to this or not.
Trying it. See what happens.
Actually, you know what? It's not all that bad, actually.
Yeah, it's not too terrible. We don't get reaction from each other, but we'll see how it goes.
That's all right.
How was your day?
It was good. It was good. I actually was busy all weekend. Did 8 water polo games yesterday. It's 8 the day before. Did an open house. So showed some clients another house down in Galt.
Ooh, nice.
So it was a long weekend. I'm exhausted. I'm going home and I'll be asleep by 3 minutes after I get home.
Right when you land,
Yep.
when you land in your bed, you're good to
Probably
go.
fall asleep before my head hits the pillow.
Nice.
What about you? How'd you do?
Good. Yesterday was the wife's birthday, so we
I saw that.
went out to dinner, and then we went out to Corner Pocket and played some pool and had some drinks.
Where'd you go to dinner?
China buffet
Where's that at?
on Sunrise. It's a big Chinese food buffet place. You get sushi and hibachi and all sorts of shit from there.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
Where's it at? Sunrise.
And you know where Logan's Roadhouse used to be?
Yeah.
It's right next door to them. Right next to La...
Oh, it used to be Bobby McGee's
Sure.
before your day.
Whatever.
Logan's Roadhouse isn't there anymore?
Nope, not anymore.
Really? When that closed, I wonder.
I don't know. Is this the house you showed in Galt, by the way? Maybe?
Nope.
Damn. Well,
Why?
that house is being sold in Galt right now. My buddy's selling this house.
Oh, no.
Chinese food is amazing, TJ. You're absolutely right. Don't forget, everybody, we are live on Facebook, and we also are live on the Mixler app.
Back on Mixler.
So you can catch us mobile without having to jump all over your Facebook feeds. Additionally, I went and saw It. I saw It.
You saw it?
Yeah. It
How
scared
was
the
It?
shit out of me. I don't do clowns at all. Don't like them. Don't want anything to do with them. Would rather they all disappear. Whether they're happy or not. And I know he's Pennywise the happy dancing clown, but no, he's not. And it was good. The acting, the kids that they picked for the movie were amazing. Literally, they could take that group of kids and put them in a comedy, and
Really?
they would thrive tremendously. They were great.
That'll be one movie I won't be seeing. I don't do scary movies.
Final in the Dallas Sunday night game, 19-3. Dallas beats the Giants. Yeah, it was good though. A lot of like holy shit moments, a lot of anticipation that jumps out at you and still scares you when you know it's coming.
I did hear a couple reviews that said that same thing.
Yeah, so here's what freaked me out is, so if you're not familiar with It story, Pennywise the demon goes back to this town in Maine and terrorizes and takes kids and their souls and everything like that, right? Every 27 years. So the movie's based in 1989, like the original book was written, but the original movie released in 1990. They released the new one in 2007, 27 years after the original. So they keep that in line with the story, which is kind of cool. But it was just, man, I don't know. I read a thing about it that said Stephen King, who wrote the original book, newsflash if anyone's ever not known that, Stephen King wrote the original. He only basically signed off on the new one, right? He didn't actually have like a part in the
Writing of it?
well, the writing was already done. What the fuck? Go away. The writing was already done. I mean, they just based it off the book. But he didn't have anything to do with the screenplay, the acting, the directing, none of it. He basically just signed off on, yes, you can use my story. He saw the movie. Remember, Stephen King wrote the fucking book. and said that he was not prepared for the way the movie was done.
Really?
That's how good it was. He had to see it twice in order to see everything and to fully take it in because of how well it was done. And I'm like, okay, I don't like clowns. If the guy who wrote the book, who literally knows systematically every single thing that could happen, no matter what they do, unless they rewrite his story, is freaked out by it, I have no shot in hell. And it was good. And the other thing that he was worried about was the actor who portrayed Pennywise living up to the original Pennywise, because that one was haunting. I mean, it haunted people for 30 years.
Right.
And 27 years. And whoever it was that played Pennywise in this movie is a fucking lunatic. It was absolutely amazing. Like, clown aside, it was like, holy crap. And then it also goes to show, if you watch the movie, that America is sick as fuck, because, you know, normally there's like, if you go see like a comedy, you have like 2 or 3 previews for comedy, and then they'll throw in like an action movie or whatever in there.
Right.
There was like 8 previews, all of like hack and slash murder horror movies, all coming out in the next like 2 months.
Wow.
Including the movie that I'm most excited for, the one that I will be looking forward to seeing absolutely the most, and that's Jigsaw, the 8th rendition of the Saw movies. It's
No,
2.5
thank you.
years after Jigsaw's dead, and he's back.
No, thank you.
And I am so excited for that one, October 27th, which is weird because those movies actually scare me more than movies like It, because, well, 2 reasons. One, there was already someone demented enough to write the movie. That means those like contraptions and thoughts are already in someone's head. But 2, you don't know if there is someone out there that's literally plotting.
Well, I'm sure there is.
And that to me is scarier than a demon clown. So, I mean, you know, you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt, I guess, you know, what you're watching. But, man, I don't know. I'm going to check something real quick on the iPad. Make sure that it's on.
Looks like we lost the picture.
Make sure it's on Wi-Fi. Here, hold on. Go ahead and keep talking.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, I've decided a long time ago that scary movies were not for me, because my life is scary enough as it is on a daily basis, so I don't need to pay $12 or whatever it is
It was
now.
$7.75 today for matinee.
Was it really?
Palladio with the reclining chairs.
Nice.
It had a beer. No, I didn't. I forgot to order my beer.
Now, is that one where they serve food too?
That particular one doesn't, but yeah, they have those options as well.
Oh yeah, I haven't been to Studio Grill, which is the one up in Rockland.
Arden's new Century 14 has food as well.
Does it?
I believe we're going to be crooked now. I'm looking at the iPod thinking we're going to be a little tilted. Well,
we're tilted anyway.
Sports-wise, anything exciting happened this weekend?
Football started for real, pretty much.
Yeah, that did happen.
That was kind of cool. I saw 0 minutes of any game. I take it back. I watched about half of the Dallas game. Other than that, I saw nothing of anything.
No, I enjoyed watching a little bit of football this morning.
Yeah.
And
I did get to listen to Big Ears for a little while.
I didn't because I couldn't get someone's login to work. I don't have Sunday Ticket anymore.
I don't know if I have it anymore either. I don't know if it maybe was a special.
The free preview weekend.
Might be a free preview weekend, and I don't have it anymore.
They did have that for sure. What's up, Barn Bomb? Barn Bomb was at the game today. He is joining us.
Was it the Niner game?
Yeah.
Was that the one that he was going to?
It is the one he was going to.
So, Mike, we need to hear your reaction to Levi's Stadium.
Yes, we do, because I don't think you. Well, you know what? Mike probably fucking loved it, like we said last week.
Yeah, he's gonna.
He probably stuck to the seats. Just knowing Mike, and that's not a knock on Mike. It's just Mike. If he likes a team, they can't do anything wrong. I mean,
right.
That's Mike's way about him. So, but yeah, I mean, it was, like you said, football's back, baseball's around. TJ says he was there with 47 people. No, dude, it was a sellout. It was just dressed like a seat day again. But
was it bad?
Oh, dude.
Was the crowd bad?
Oh my god, it's so terrible.
Was it really?
Before we get into that, though, let's talk baseball real quick, because one, the Giants are terrible. They're anemic. Everything's a joke right now for the Giants. But I want to put out like an all points bulletin for Dodger fan. Because Dodger fan,
has been mysteriously quiet the last.
for the past like 3 months, Dodger fan has been on the tallest horse they could find, talking shit about anybody that would listen or not listen. They would just talk.
Right.
And that catch by Beasley was amazing. And you couldn't throw anything at them, whether it was logical or not, and they were just saying, this is the year, fuck everything else. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, look, what about October? Because your beloved Kershaw in October is balls. He's terrible, right? And they would just be like, it doesn't matter. Mike, you didn't drive. Why do you care about the parking lots? And all of a sudden, and let me preface what I'm about to say. I'm not taking anything away from the Dodgers this year, because that 57 game stretch where they lost like 4 times.
Oh, I know. It was amazing.
Was some of the best baseball I've ever seen in my life. And I mean, obviously as a Giants fan, it sucks to say that, but as a baseball fan, that was fun to watch. And it's just like watching the Indians win their 17th in a row tonight. And,
Did they win tonight?
Yeah, and Arizona running off 13 or 14 in a row. It's fun to watch. But the fans, I don't see any Indian, well, maybe there aren't any, but I don't see any Indian fans running their mouth talking shit about teams in their division. Arizona fans aren't running their mouth talking shit on the Giants. They're doing it with class. And the Dodger fans didn't do that. And then all of a sudden, they've lost 14 of 16. And they got swept by Arizona twice in 3 weeks. And Kershaw went 3 1/3 and took the loss the other day. That's not how you tune up for the postseason in the start of September, by getting just like lambasted by everybody that you step on the field with. And then all of a sudden, there's literally nothing on social media. In fact, if you go to the Dodgers Facebook page right now, this is what you hear. That's it. Because Dodger fans are gone. And there's a couple fans out there that I know that are diehard Dodger fans, and, they were raised improperly, obviously, but they stick with their team, and they're still running their mouth because they still have confidence that they're going to bounce back. But those other like Dodger fans that popped up out of the woodwork, gone. And not saying the Giants fans didn't do that. Giants fans popped up out of the woodwork like crazy, the last couple of years. But it's just like, where are you guys? What happened? So let me ask this, though. Do you think the Dodgers find a way to bounce back, or do you think they did too much on the trade markets and all the different things they've done that maybe broke up the chemistry of this team, and they're not going to have enough time to find themselves?
I think that's a part of it. I think the other part is, I kind of think they were doing it with smoke and mirrors anyway. I didn't really. Nobody in their lineup really stands out and makes me go, "Wow, they're pretty good." They had like 3 or 4 guys that.
That's right, Mike. Sorry, it is 18 straight for the Indians.
Yeah. There were 3 or 4 guys that they called up from the minors that were just on fire and hitting, home runs on a daily basis and doing everything they could. And I know that at least one of them had never really hit home runs before. He was just on a terror streak. And so I think a lot of it was done on smoke and mirrors. And now they're starting to kind of average themselves out again and land where they're going to land. The strange thing is, though, they still have the best record in the Major League Baseball.
Yeah, but you don't get rings for best record in baseball.
Well, still, but I mean that's how good they were during that stretch.
Yeah, but you don't get a parade. I mean that means nothing. So
I think it was it you that was saying the other night that or somebody said it doesn't matter what the Dodgers are doing now, we'll all be on the same couch watching the World Series.
No, I didn't. That wasn't me, unfortunately.
But
I wish I would have.
That was somebody I think at our draft was saying that.
Yeah, and Will Nano says they're done. They peaked too early. I don't know that I'd say they're done, but I definitely think they peaked too early. They have a good enough team to bounce back. It's just a matter of can they.
Well, they got to get hot again. They have to be as hot as they were before, and they're not right now.
And then TJ says, I think they're going to limp into the playoffs and get upset by a team like the Rockies. I can see that happening. I can see a team that you just...
I think the team that's going to beat them is Arizona.
Arizona has that number.
And they're lined up to play them in the first round right now. So,
my cousin Ashley just joined, and she's probably licking her wounds because she's a Giants fan and they just got smoked. But so did our Niners, so I guess I can't talk too much shit. But I don't know, man. Baseball. I'm kind of glad that baseball's winding down. It's just been a really rough year.
I'm still watching though.
I
It's
am too.
amazing.
It's
It's
weird.
amazing. It's the longest I've spent when a team of mine is out of contention, still watching almost every game.
Yeah, I am too, and that's strange. I take it back. I'm not watching every game. I'm following every game intently though. Like I have my app on. I listen to the radio call. I'm always checking my alerts. Every time my alert goes off, I'm like, I look at it and I'm like, oh, that's right. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then like last night, I decided to watch the game, and fucking the White Sox had home run derby. Like they had batting practice last night. The game was like 6-1, and Kylie, my little one, walks in. She goes, or it was 10-1. Why do they have so many more than us? Well, they're hitting the ball. I'm like,
And half the team was hitting for the cycle too.
yeah. So I'm watching the game, and Samardzija gives up a home run, and I'm like, okay, that's typical Samardzija. And then Hundley, who, by the way, one of the greatest free agent acquisitions the Giants have had in a couple of years, hits a home run again. And I'm like, okay, cool. Giants hit a home run. And then I go hop in the shower because we're going to dinner. Because we went to the air. That's another thing we did. We went to the air show this weekend.
Oh.
And just got baked.
They didn't have the Blue Angels or...
No, they had the Patriots out there this year. It's a privately owned 6-man stunt team.
Huh.
In like F-16s. Privately owned. All of them on their own
Because they
jets.
didn't... I don't know that they came over our house. They usually do.
So, you know what? Hold on. Let me talk about that for a second. I hate the term snowflakes. Like, I think it's a stupid way to represent sissy-ass people, but it caught fire with this whole Trump presidency. Rancho Cordova is full of a bunch of fucking snowflakes.
Yeah, no kidding. So is Rosemont.
They complained after last year's practice runs that lasted a week.
Did they
And
really?
It's too loud. The air
No
show's
way.
only 2 days long. Why do they need to fly for the whole week? So the city of Rancho Cordova, with all the neighbors' complaints, limited their practice to 2 hours Thursday and Friday morning before the air show. That was it.
They're not going to get the Blue Angels coming back. If they
Probably
do
not,
that.
because those guys probably need to practice. You know, you don't want one of those guys to fuck up.
Yeah.
And then I learned also that, you know, the dead cow plant that stinks up Anatolia.
Oh,
and
yeah. The rendering plant?
The rendering plant, that's the word I was looking for. It's too smelly. We want that shut down. Listen here,
You
fuckers.
should have known when you bought a house out there.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Greg Rosa, because I'm pretty sure you know about this. When you buy a house by an airport or by a facility like, let's say, I don't know, a rendering plant, there's usually some sort of disclosure.
Absolutely.
Or like a thing you have to sign off on that says you're aware that you live
Yep.
next to a stinky dead cow plant.
Yep, absolutely.
What the fuck? Like, where?
It's people are stupid. There was one lady in the I don't know, this is Roseville or Rosemont Facebook group or whatever the hell it is.
Rosemont, we cry about everything.com.
Yeah.
I'm a part of that group.
Yeah. Oh, there's fireworks going off. It's not the 4th of July. My kids need to go to bed. This lady was like, is there something going on at the airport? Because it seems like there's a lot more traffic of loud planes over the last couple of days. Is there something I should know about the airport? You dumb bitch. It's an air
airport.
show. I almost wrote that. I'm like, are you really serious that you don't know about the air show?
So I live in Rancho, obviously, right outside of Rosemont. And let's just say it's not the most crime-free area that we live
No,
in.
it's a little sketchy.
And so there's the occasional gunshot, and around July, we like to play Was It Gunshots or Fireworks? Like,
Right,
it's
we
kind
do
of
too.
It's a game we play.
We do too.
So recently they've changed the way that posts are allowed in the Rancho Watch group. It used to just be you post it. Well, you'd hear like bang 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 at like 4 a.m, and there'd be 75. Did you hear that? Like boom, 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 like
Yeah.
all of them, right? So now moderators have to approve posts, which really doesn't help when there's like a possible emergency going on and you post something that doesn't show up till the next morning, which I think is stupid. But I like to, on 4th of July, when fireworks start going off, I start to go, oh my God, was that gunshots? Over and over again. Every single time they go off, and they started not approving my post. But I'm tired of it.
Yeah,
What's up,
it's
Troy?
it's all these I don't know what you would call them, Gladys Kravitz types.
It's the pussification of America,
There's
is
a
what
bunch
it
of
is.
Gladys Kravitz that just sit around and have nothing better to do than complain about fireworks or lost dogs or people doing donuts in the streets or
God, I want a donut.
Donut.
How's your Sports Talk 2 fantasy matchup going? Is that who I'm playing against, Troy? Is that you this week? I'm not winning. I'll tell you that much. We were talking baseball. Do we care any more about baseball?
No.
What about this?
Well, since I didn't see much of it, I'm not going to be that much of a help.
Yeah. I am playing Troy this week. You know, Troy, if Tom Brady, Dez Bryant, Martavius Bryant, DeMarco Murray, Vance McDonald all didn't shit the bed, I'd probably be beating you.
If.
Oh, and I'm sorry, hold
If.
on. Let's see who's in here right now. Facebook Live. Mike's not there. We have 6 people watching live. Troy Morris isn't one of them. Will Nanoff is, and that's it right now. So for those listening to the podcast later on, Raider fans, breaking news. After today's performance, Mr. Giorgio Tavecchio, it is safe to say that the Sebastian Janikowski era in Oakland is over. Now, he restructured his deal, which prevented him from being cut. He took $1 million less, and then all of a sudden he's on injured reserve for 6 weeks. Tavecchio came in. He had a field goal from, I don't know the exact numbers, but between 20 and 29, one between 40 and 49, and 2 50-plussers.
52-yarders.
And they were both smack dab down the center with distance. And Seabass, I give him credit. He's on the sideline cheering him on. And, but Seabass is done. This Tavecchio kid can kick. He was the first kicker to make a field goal of any kind, extra point or otherwise, in a regular season game for the Raiders since 2001.
Really?
It's been Seabass since he was drafted in 2000.
Seabass won me a couple of drinks that night. It was draft night, too. But, yeah, I told a couple guys I bet him a drink that he would get drafted in the first round.
Oh, that night. Yeah.
Anyway, I think the Seabass experiment is over, but do you think his career's over?
Career over? I don't think so.
There's a team right across the bay that can always use a good kicker.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Robbie Gould.
I'm not either.
I mean, I would be okay with Seabass coming across, but he's still under contract. I mean, he's on the IR at least until week 6. Did
they put him on IR? I didn't hear that.
I doubt they're going to drop him because he did restructure his deal like they asked him to. Honestly, I could see Janikowski basically sticking it out, retiring after week 6 and saying, you know what, I was an Oakland Raider. I'm going to retire an Oakland Raider, and I'm not going to go with them to Vegas. I'm not going to be anything but an Oakland Raider and be done.
I can see that.
He's played for 17 years. I mean, he's the all-time leading scorer in Oakland Raiders history. He's one of the greatest kickers, I would say, in the NFL history.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is amazing considering he got drafted in the first round, which is unheard of for a kicker. Amidst all the marijuana controversy back when he was in college and all that other stuff. He was at Florida State, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think there was some GHB talk about him, too.
All of that, though, it's amazing. I mean, it's going to be one of those things where I think Seabass is gone, and if the Raiders weren't idiots and they actually retired numbers, 11 would be in the rafters.
There's a lot of numbers that be in the rafters.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. But if the Raiders were one of those teams that actually cared about their legacy of their players more than they do, I think 11 would be up there. So,
definitely.
But let's go ahead and let's see. As an Oakland A's fan, honestly, I'm shocked they swept Houston out of the Coliseum. Whatever, Mike.
Did Mike ever tell us about
he said, I like the stadium, but some of the parking lots and gravel and dirt do suck. They need to be repaved. Says
How do
the guy
you know,
who
Mike?
rides public transportation.
Yeah.
Let's talk football. So Thursday Night Football kicked off. Our pick'em pool, I believe everybody.
No, one.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me preface that. Josh Zimmerman, who took Kansas City.
Yeah.
Kansas City fan. Homer pick.
Was it really?
He would have taken them if everyone on the team got hurt in a bus crash and me and you suited up. He'd be like, you know what? I'm a Chiefs fan. They might have a chance. So you kind of got to take that one with a grain of salt. But you got to give him credit because he did take Kansas City to win.
And I, by the way, with my 13th pick in one of my drafts, had Jameis Winston as my number one quarterback and thought, I need a bye week quarterback for him. I'll just pick up Alex Smith.
And lucky for you, Irma came in.
Yeah, no
and
kidding.
gave you a bye week.
Well, I knew that he had a bye week. I knew they'd already postponed his game. And so I think, I just need one guy for week one, and he scored 60 points for me, which is huge in our league.
I think in our league he would have had like close to 80 sitting on the bench. I want to give a shout out to my cousin Danny for not playing Hunt, the running back for Kansas City. I'm still losing, but something went wrong. What happened? Did we lose Facebook?
It's been a while.
No, they're still talking, so I think we're good. But Kansas City, man, they come in and Kansas was it a week one? Was it just a week one blunder by New England, or
I think Kansas City's for real.
Well, that was my next question. Or is Kansas City for real? Did they finally expose the Patriots? I mean, are the Patriots?
I don't think they exposed the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots, if you remember, a couple of years ago, went into Kansas City, laid an egg. Tom Brady was done. He needs to retire. He's past his prime, and then New England went on to win the Super Bowl. So they just have Kansas City has their number, but I think this year Kansas City finally has some wide receivers that can catch and run routes. Mm-hmm. They have a quarterback who does not make mistakes. You can say he's a game manager type, but he doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't throw picks. He doesn't throw to the wrong guy.
Will says they have a problem in their secondary, a big problem.
Because Eric Berry's out now.
Yeah, but here's the deal, though. They can play offense and just keep up with everybody. It looks like.
Yeah, I mean, they're not dependent. Uh-oh, what happened there?
If you put an iPhone right here, apparently it blocks the screen. KC will not be better than Oakland.
I don't know. I think that they're going to be the two that
no, it's going to come down to them, and
it's going to come down to them, and it's really going to come down to their head-to-head matches because I think other than that they're going to be pretty close. But I think Kansas City's offense is just a little bit too strong for the weak Oakland defense.
Yeah, Oakland got exposed this week. I mean, their secondary looked bad.
Well, they didn't get. Everybody knew it.
Well, they knew it, but it
wasn't like it was a secret.
It was put on blast. Like, I mean, they knew it. But there was a little bit of question marks. Can they play better than they need to? And it's week one, and we'll get to Oakland here in a minute because I want to ask you about that. But the rest of the games. Let me ask you this. You didn't watch a lot of football today.
I did not, no.
I'm sure. Do you see any highlights or anything?
A couple, just here and there.
I'll ask the chat box, too, because there's 5 people in there. Barnbaum, you're included in this. That makes 6. Is Cleveland better than the jokes? Is it better than we anticipate? Because Cleveland lost today to the high-powered Steelers offense, who many have competing with New England and Oakland and maybe Kansas City as one of the top 4 division winners, playoff teams, and likely candidates to play in the AFC Championship game. They lost 21-18.
Didn't they score? Were their touchdowns more defensive than offensive?
So Pittsburgh's first score came on a block punt that the physics of a football blow my mind. This ball's bouncing end over end from the 3. Goes airborne at like if the back of the end zone's the goal line, it went out. It goes airborne at like the 1.5, hits the ground, starts spinning, and takes a backwards turn and rolls back toward the field of play. Pittsburgh falls on it for a touchdown. Kaiser looks good. I mean, for a rookie, he didn't look bad at all.
Hey, it's 20 for 30. For 222 yards, that's not too bad.
Yeah, but Roethlisberger...
1 TD, 1 interception.
Roethlisberger didn't look good. They stopped Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell looked bad. Well, I shouldn't say bad. He just didn't look great. But that also probably comes to the fact that he basically held out all of camp.
Yeah. They had no answer for Antonio Brown.
But 75 of those yards came on a catch and run that he just broke 6 tackles on. It wasn't like he was normal Antonio Brown down the sideline and just burning everybody. Like, Cleveland had him in pretty good control most of the game. It was literally, you watch this thing and you're like, okay, block punt in the first quarter. Cleveland's going to lose by 1,000. And the game ends and you're like, holy shit, they only lost by 3.
Well, Cleveland, they've always been missing that one part for, at least one part. And not having a quarterback. And maybe Kaiser's the quarterback that they've been looking for. Maybe he was, better than, they've had 30 quarterbacks since they came back 20 years ago. They've always had a strong offensive line.
By the way, Brian Contreras says that Bill Belichick needs shirts like you.
Throwing out the guns tonight.
Right.
Everything else is dirty.
Welcome to the gun show.
That's right.
Let's see.
Waiting for the delay to show my flex. Here it comes. Here it comes. Come on. There we go.
Kansas City, Oakland are for real in the AFC West this year. The AFC playoff teams will likely include both of them. Thanks, Mike.
Shocker.
Yeah, right. Woohoo! Yeah, they did stuff Bell. It was one of those things where it's like, you're not going to call them contenders. You're not going to call them anything more than the Cleveland Browns. But it's going to be one of those things where it's not going to be an automatic write-off,
right?
And it's not going to be an extra bye week for teams this year.
They're not the Jets.
Let's keep going down the list. Matt Stafford, the $27 million man, went up against Arizona. They won 35-23. How about this game? So, Jacksonville, Houston. Houston starts Tom Savage. Jacksonville's defense just lights him up alive.
2 pick sixes in a row.
2 pick sixes, multiple sacks. He was running around scared. Halftime, Deshaun Watson comes in, leads a touchdown drive, has an interception late, but stays with it, goes down the field, makes the tackle on the CB, preventing a touchdown. Jacksonville, what's up, Sam? Jacksonville, they've been drafting defense, and it's starting to come along. And every year, I've been high on the goddamn Jaguars, and every year they just go, bye-bye. No, we're not playing anymore. They finally look good. They win 29-7. The Bengals look bad. They lose 20-0 to the Ravens.
Speaking of the Bengals and the Texans, they're on Thursday Night Football this week. Are they going to have those stupid, ugly-ass
Color
uniforms?
Rush, baby poop and baby.
It was baby puke and
like sky blue, right?
It was baby puke and wasn't it Viagra blue?
No, that was the Titans. I don't know what the Texans were red, like a full red, I think. So it'll be like bloody baby poop.
What are the Bengals going to be?
The Bengals aren't
orange
on it.
Aren't they?
Is it this week? I thought it was Houston and... Oh, it is Houston, the Bengals, not Jaguars. So it'll be bright orange or all orange, probably.
Oh, God.
Let's see, 20-0. Raiders, we'll get to them in a second. Falcons beat the Bears 23-17. How'd
Trubinsky look?
He didn't play.
He didn't?
No, what's his name started? Glennon. Mike Glennon started. Didn't look very bad. He didn't look great. But there's that. The Eagles' defense made Kirk Cousins look like a child, which is more and more with the Matt Stafford deal and with the way he looks. I'm kind of glad the Niners didn't throw the house at him right now.
Yeah, they might throw the house at him next year.
I don't think they will. I think he wants to stay in Washington, and I'm glad because he's going to get $30 million or more next year to play for them, and I'm good with the Niners not doing that. Buffalo beat the Jets 21-12 with the Dolphins and the Patriots losing, and the Jets obviously losing. Buffalo's in first place in the NFC.
Well,
AFC.
The Dolphins didn't play.
That's what I meant. With them not playing, with the Jets and the Patriots losing, the Bills are in first place.
And the Patriots are in last.
Yep. Shocking game of the week for me, score-wise, not outcome-wise. I took the Rams to beat the Colts because obviously Scott Tolzien, former 49er quarterback, we know how that works out. But the Rams, 46-9 over the Colts.
Ooh. Are they for real?
I think they're better. They're not for real.
Do you think Goff is for real?
Yes, I think Goff can be for real. I think Goff will. God damn it, Barnbaum. The Bengals are the same color as the San Francisco Giants, black and orange. We're talking color rush, Mike, not. Bold predictions.
You gotta just ignore him.
CJ Beathard will at some point be the 49ers starter. I say week 3.
No, not that soon.
Maybe by the bye week 8.
Yeah, I can see that.
Let's see. Niners lost. We'll get to that. Cowboys beat the Giants 19-3. Dolphins did not play. Greg B. See my earlier comments regarding how they were impact. Mike, I know. Fuck.
I corrected him, Mike.
Yeah. And then we have 2 Monday night games. So
Yeah, we got the Rex Ryan game.
we do get the Rex Ryan game. Speaking of that, Tony Romo looked pretty decent.
Did he? I didn't hear.
Sounded
I didn't hear
decent on the Raider call. It wasn't bad. Rams scored 2 defensive touchdowns. Goff was great. So in our pick'em, not a bad week. Ricky Seibel, I don't know who that is, and Darren Mendenhall both forgot to make their picks because they're idiots apparently. But we'll go from the bottom. Our lone female participant, Melissa, had 4 right. James, you had 6. Greg Veroza, you had 7. Tom Morgan and Mike Vanderpool and Jaime Perez all had 8. TJ Longecker, Josh Zimmerman, and Greg Bowl all finished the week with 9 wins. 9 picks right. Will thinks the Rams will win 4 games. He also thinks the Raiders are going to probably go undefeated, so we don't take that. Let me ask you this, though, real quick. Has it been... So, Miami and Tampa both had a bye week in Week 11, right?
Yes.
So they're moving this game. So their bye week's Week 1?
Yep.
They play 16 straight weeks?
Yeah, welcome to NFL.
That's just rough.
They did it for
75
years.
I don't think that's a problem. I mean, it's just gonna be rough. I mean, every other team gets that mid-season little break.
Yeah.
You better hope that like Week 11 they don't play, and then they're scheduled for like the Week 12 Thursday night game.
I know,
or, like,
right?
Monday night, or you better hope that they don't have like a Week 10 Monday night game, and then they're playing in the.
Yeah. No, I mean the NFL did this for years and years, and Golick on all week was saying that, welcome to football. Up until 90, 91, nobody had a bye, and then I don't know that a lot of people remember this, but I think in 2000 or 2001 or 99 when the Cleveland Browns came back into play,
They went without a bye week that season, right?
No, there was a bye week every week because there was an odd number of teams.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And so I think it was for 2 years, and I believe the first year San Diego didn't have had a bye week their first week and had to play all 16
That
games.
sucks.
And then for a while they had two byes.
Will says the Raiders are going 12-4. I think the Raiders go 13-3 this year.
I think they're going. What did I say? 11-5.
I think so.
Yeah, something like that.
Let's see. Let's talk about the Niners game. So they lost 23-3 to Carolina today. Let me check something here because I didn't get a chance to look it up. I haven't looked at the stats. I was watching it, so I didn't get to see the game. But let's see. 1993, there were 2 bye weeks for each team. Thanks, TJ. Always with the useful things. Let's see. Takeaways. Here we go. 7 takeaways from the 49ers game. Reuben Foster sustained a right leg injury in the first quarter, did not return to the game. He was carted off the field.
X-rays came back negative, so nothing's broken.
He returned to the field to support his team for the sideline for what looked like a serious injury at first glance. 49ers made a dodge a bullet. It's a shame that Foster got hurt because the rookie was all over the place to begin the game. He had 3 tackles and a pass breakup in less than a quarter's work. Foster wasted no time showing he's a special talent. San Francisco needs to cross his fingers so he won't be out long. Offense struggled. Marquise Goodwin dropped a pass down to blah, blah, blah. It's not loading. The fucking page is going slow. Hold on.
So Hoyer was 24 for 35 for 193 yards. I can't read that.
No touchdowns. Have any picks?
1.
Okay. What were Hyde's stats? Because I have a bone to pick with Carlos Hyde.
9 carries, 45 yards.
Who else had carries?
Let me see here.
Because if they only had 50 plays, that's pretty fucking terrible. Reuben Foster says he'll be back against Seattle next week. I'm down for that.
I am too. Box score. Here we go.
Michael, we'll get to that in a second.
Okay. Hyde had 9 carries for 45. Breida had 4 carries for 11. Jakuzik?
Yes.
I don't know how everybody says it.
Juszczyk, that's our
Juszczyk.
fullback.
He had 1 carry for 0 yards, and Hoyer had 1 carry for -5.
So here's
So they had
not enough.
15 carries for 51 yards.
Not enough. You got to run the damn ball. But my bone to pick is with fucking Carlos Hyde. They get down to the Carolina 1. First down at the 1. 4 plays to punch it in. 3 of them in a row. It's a run. He gets stuffed at the 1 yard line. 4th play, on the 4th down, they set up 4 wide receivers on the right-hand side, run a screen pass to Hyde on the right, catches it, loses 1.5 yards. Carlos Hyde, I hate to say it, is not going to be the answer. It's a contract year for this guy, and I'm tired of him.
Doesn't that sound familiar?
Yeah, you've been saying it too.
I've been saying that from day one, that he is not a. I'm almost positive I said this when we did our last week when we were talking about preseason stuff. He's not a number 1 back. He's a 3rd down back. Bring him in to change things up. That way we could get to 4th down, right?
And Pinion can come in.
A fucking punter.
Thank you.
I have another bold prediction. So we said that Bethard will be starting by the bye week. I think Breida will be our starting running back by the bye week as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed that the kid from Utah's on IR because that's
Joe Williams.
Joe Williams. I thought he would be.
Yeah, so am I, because I drafted his fucking ass.
I drafted him in a league too. I thought he'd be the answer, and I still think he could be. Mm-hmm. But and we knew this. We knew this going into the season, that the offense was still going to be the question mark. The Niners spent most of their draft picks on the defensive side of the ball.
Damn it, Barnbaum.
Yeah, fuck.
What now?
I'm tired of Carlos Hyde. I agree. I want DeAndre Carter off the practice squad and on the 53-man roster.
Is that the kid from Sac State?
The kid from Sac State's not going to be the 49ers running back.
No.
Just stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. And Brian says we need more punters.
A fucking punter.
Mike, put your Fox 40 jersey on and stop.
And sit on this. Man, I don't know.
But we knew that. We knew going in that with Hoyer playing quarterback, offensive line was going to be better. It had to be.
Just fucking stop running to motherfucker. God damn it. It's all right. We'll get it off of Mixler later.
Okay. Quarterback was going to be an issue. Offensive line was better. Receivers were going to be better. But there was still a question about running backs and quarterbacks. And defensively, our front 7 or 8, whatever we're playing, is definitely the strength of the team. But the defensive backfield was going to be a weakness.
Mike, I'm tired of Carlos Hyde. I want DeAndre Carter off the practice squad. What the fuck is a wide receiver going to do for the running back position, Mike? Carter's a wide receiver, not a running back.
So why do we...
why would you replace a running back with a wide receiver?
That's the one position that I think we're all right in right now.
God damn it, Barnbaum.
Hi, this is Mike Barnbaum.
Where's our... do you have our Bochy?
I'll say he's an idiot.
That's my favorite thing. I don't care.
Can't forget about that.
God damn it, I love Bochy. Anyways, let's move on. The Niners are in trouble.
No, they're not. They're not in trouble.
They were in trouble.
They're not in trouble. They're doing what we expected.
So they go to Seattle next week. The Niners haven't done shit. No, actually, hold on. Let me back this up a little bit.
But go back and look at your picks. Go back and look at your picks for the year.
Yeah.
You had them going 1-7. We didn't have them winning this week.
I had them winning this week. Let me ask you this question though. How much of it do you think was the Niners not being good, or how much of it was the Niners being bad, or was it that Mike Rivera for the past 3 seasons has played Kyle Shanahan's offense twice every year, is very familiar with him, and knew what he would be doing in
Rivera.
what'd I say?
Mike.
Yeah.
You got Mike on your brain.
Yeah. So
damn it, Barnbaum.
Right. So how much of it is Rivera knowing what he's going to do? Because on that, I mentioned that 4th down from the 1 where they stack the 4 wide receivers and run the screenplay. The second that ball was snapped, every defensive back and the safeties crashed in on their block and went into the backfield knowing what was coming.
I think, I think it's a lot of both. I think it's a lot of the Niners being bad. I think it's Ron Rivera knowing Shanahan's.
Big shout out to Greg from Jeff Riedman here in Maine.
Jeff Ridman.
Redman, sorry.
One of my old high school buddies.
He
Hey,
says,
Jeff.
He says, go Pats. Thanks for listening from Maine. That expands us even further.
Yeah, hey, we're,
Well, I would
coast
say,
to coast and around the world.
yeah, we would be worldwide, but our buddy Perez is getting battled by Irma right now. So,
Right.
hopefully everything's going well with him.
Like I said, I think it was a combination of the Carolina being good, the Niners being bad, Rivera knowing what Shanahan's tendencies are, and the Niners not having the kind of players that Atlanta had to pull his tendencies off.
Now, they go to Seattle next week.
They're going to get killed.
Shanahan's had success against Seattle.
They're going to
but
get killed. They
he
don't
had
have the players.
Matt Ryan.
He doesn't have the talent.
Yep. We'll see.
I mean, he had Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. Now he's got Brian Hoyer and Pierre Garçon.
right.
So he's got a French guy and a guy who's been washed out of.
But he's got
every quarterback.
DeAndre Carter on the practice squad.
That's right. Well, yeah. So they're going to get killed. I mean, I can see them. I think I had them going 1-7, something like that.
Into the bye.
The bye, and I see that staying the same unless they get really lucky. They're not going to win. The only game they're going to win is the Jets, and they could lose that too. It's just you got to remember where we're at with these guys, and these guys are off of a season where they won 3 games last year,
2 games,
2 games,
Yep.
and realistically, they should have only won 1.
Oh, yeah, speaking of that, TJ says Seattle has no offensive line, though, and I agree with that. But where was our defensive line? Where was Armstead? Where was Bowman and Dial? And I think we cut Dial. And Solomon Thomas. And where are all these big guys we drafted that are supposed to be these amazing pass rushers? Is Carolina's offensive line restructured? Because last year their offensive line was terrible.
Yeah, well, they weren't bad the year before, so.
Man, I don't know.
We're just bad. The Niners are bad, which, think about the long run, we want them to be bad. We want them to be bad. We want a top 3 pick. We're not going to get the number 1. We're probably not going to get number 2. I'd say they're going to be in the 3 to 5 range. And there's enough good quarterbacks that are out there that they can pick somebody up in that 3 to 5 range.
Hold on, let me ask you this though: if you give CJ Beathard the reins early enough in the season, do you think he may be a good enough answer at quarterback to where they can go after a top running back or a top wide receiver?
He could be.
in the
We don't
draft?
know that yet. We don't know.
Because honestly, I think that the Niners could be better suited going with Beathard or trying to test.
Beathard.
It's Beathard, isn't it?
It's Beathard.
Is it?
It's Bobby Beathard's grandson.
Okay, so Beathard, whatever. But I'm going with Beathard because that's how I'm going to remember it.
Yeah, remember last week I gave you a bad time about being so uppity because it's Beathard.
That's what it was. Okay.
Beathard.
So Beathard.
Well, I think Beathard could.
I just think that the Niners have a lot more holes in their team, especially on offense, that I don't know that you leverage a quarterback right now in the first round pick because you do have this kid you took out of the 3rd. He's going to be a good quarterback. I see him to be a lot like Alex Smith with a better deep ball.
Could be.
So he may be a field general who can actually throw the deep ball. And you get a running back, you get a wide receiver because – yeah, our wide receiver core is okay right now. I mean, you have Garcon and you have, Goodwin and a couple
of D'Angelo on the practice squad.
Yeah, and you have De'Aaron Carter on the, DeAndre Carter on the, was he a Backstreet Boy? Is he Aaron Carter's brother? But you don't. I mean, Garcon's getting older. I mean, yeah, he has a couple year deal, but Hyde's in a contract here. You're not throwing money at Carlos Hyde after this season. No. So you got to fill those holes. I think you can play stopgap with a quarterback and fill in those other pieces that protect him because
but you have to decide whether this crop of quarterbacks this year is a generation crop of quarterbacks.
TJ, you don't see the kid from Washington out of Folsom going number 1 anymore? He says he sees Sam Darnold going
I do
first
too.
overall.
I do too.
I don't know who that is.
He's the USC quarterback.
Oh, okay.
or USC or UCLA. You have to decide whether the crop of quarterbacks in the top 5 are generation quarterbacks. You know, if it's a quarterback that is going to be around for 10 or 12 years and is going to be able to be a consistently 4,000-yard passing guy and consistently giving you 25 to 30 touchdowns, which there's a lot of people predicting that with this group of quarterbacks, then you got a good quarterback. Right. You know, and you sit him, and maybe Bethard plays for a couple of years and, you know, see what happens. Quarterbacks go down like crazy all the time, so it doesn't hurt to have more than one good quarterback on your roster, because chances are every quarterback's going to get a couple of snaps this year. Right. If there's a good running back, I think you can get a good running back in the second or third round. You know, you're not going to get a Heisman candidate running back, but I don't know if there's any of those guys out there.
Why couldn't you with the top 3 pick?
Well, you could, but you're not with the they're not. Very rarely does a running back go in the top 10 or 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Elliott was an anomaly last year going forth, but usually you're going to get your best running backs bottom of the first round, second, third round. That's where your running backs are going to come from, especially with the pass-happy college offenses. There's not a lot of strong running backs out there. So you can get somebody in the third round. You can pick up a free agent. And remember what the Niners did. They traded down a lot.
Yeah, but that's because the Bears GM hit his head on the way into the trade room, traded up their franchise for a guy that the Niners didn't even have on their board. Yeah, Leonard Fournette looked really good today for
but how many of those guys are there? There's one, maybe two every draft. I mean, the running back position is weak for the last 10 years. It has been.
I agree.
So, college season's way too new to really know what's out there. It's going to be interesting to see what running backs there are. The quarterbacks right now are getting all the publicity because it's a quarterback. College football is quarterback driven.
Yep.
So we'll see. Quarterback and system generated. I think a lot of these quarterbacks are products of systems.
I agree.
So we'll see what happens.
This is stupid. I want to talk about vaginas.
Another great soundbite. Let's talk Raiders. Oakland Raiders today, they did win their game against Tennessee.
Is that what the Raiders are now? Are you calling
bunch of vaginas? It was the battle of the return of the broken legs. Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota both broke their leg the same day last year, ending their season. It's remarkable that Mariota's back as quick as he was because he had to have a plate put in his leg and a few other things that Derek Carr didn't have to have. Both of them look good. Both of them look mobile and healthy. Carr did get the better end of it today. And Marshawn Lynch looks like he's going to be a very important part of this offense. He looks very good. He was bouncing off of tackles, breaking. He had great speed, great. There was one play he took a halfback stretch on the right hand side. Mm-hmm. The defensive tackle for the Titans literally got off his block as if it were me blocking him. He was just like, whew, gone. He meets Marshawn heads up. And I think they said he's like 305 pounds or 302 pounds. Something like that. I'm sorry. They were talking about Vince Wilfork at that point, but it was like, I think he was like 280. Like this guy's a fucking brick shithouse is what he is.
Is Wilfork playing? I thought he retired.
No, they were just talking about how he was comparable in size to some of these guys. And dude, this dude gets low to tackle Lynch. Lynch gets lower and lights this dude up. Like on skates straight backwards against the grain. It was awesome. Michael Crabtree looks fast. He looks, no joke, they made a joke about it, and I said the exact same thing before Tony Romo said it, was it looked like he was wearing a Texas Tech jersey. That's how fast he was.
Really?
In and out of his cuts, up and down the field.
So I drafting him in all 4 of my leagues.
Was a good move. I have him in one of them as well. And then Amari Cooper. This dude.
He was. I did see the play where I don't know if he scored.
He caught it at the 8, broke the tackle, then carried 4 guys in the end zone.
Yeah, I saw that.
Dude, so they look good. On the other side of the ball, and their special teams looked really good. Marquette King had a couple punts. He benefited from a running into the kicker penalty. We'd already talked about their new kicker. He's going to be great for them. I picked him up in a few of our leagues. And, it's their front 7 look good. Mac is always fast. They're going to be okay. It's their
They just
secondary.
don't have a defensive secondary.
Their secondary is going to be a concern for the Raiders,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering if as the season progresses, if their offense is going to be high powered enough to fill in that inadequacy at the secondary, because all around you give the Raiders like a B plus A minus. The secondary gets a C minus at best today.
Yeah.
Because they're just not deep and they're not big. And
And
I
they're
have
not fast.
I have a feeling that a Kansas City, a New England, a Pittsburgh,
A Denver, if they have anybody to throw.
Now, I'm not really worried about Denver because of that reason, but I'm worried about those 3 perennial
Steelers.
playoff teams. Yeah, the Steelers are
Steelers.
one of them. Those guys that have those deep threats. If the Raiders can hang with that, if their offense is going to be strong enough to maintain keeping them in games, because I don't know, Raider fan, like I'd be a little bit skeptical, not skeptical, a little bit concerned.
I've been seeing that for the last couple of weeks, and I guess nobody listens to me.
I listen.
I know.
The broken fibula bowl today.
Is that's what's going to keep the Raiders out of the Super Bowl. That's what's going to keep them out of a long playoff run. It'll get them in the first round. They might get to the second round, but they're not going to go anywhere else. They're not at this point. I think it's safe to say they're not a Super Bowl contender because of their defensive backfield. They're just not strong enough to stop. I mean, you give Tom Brady enough time with that secondary. I don't care if he's got D'Angelo Russell or whatever that guy is from Sac State out there playing wide receiver.
De'Aaron Carter.
If De'Aaron Carter's out there for the Patriots, he's gonna carve the Raiders up because he's just that good. And
No, we're not saying he's that good. We're saying that
we're saying that Tom Brady's that good.
Brady's that good, yeah.
That Tom Brady's that good, and their system works, and he knows what to do. So the Raiders are in trouble, and I mean they're going to be good. They're going to be contenders. Though I think they have 10 or 11 wins in them, but I just don't see them as a Super Bowl contender just because of that one part of their team. It's in this league I mean, you can't have a secondary that's that bad and be any kind of a contender. You can't do it. You need to be able to stop the pass, and I don't see the Raiders doing that, especially if they double team Mac, and if they double team a couple of their other defensive linemen that they can put pressure on a quarterback. If they can double team them and stop the pass rush, a quarterback that knows how to throw is going to just carve the Raiders up. And again, I agree with you. I think their offense is strong enough to keep them as a contender, but they're going to be that 3, 4, 5 team, and I don't think they're going to be any better than that.
Ron Hoffman says, how about those Eagles? What's up, Carmichael Dave?
Is Carmichael Dave listening?
He is watching right now.
Hey, dude.
I do think that the AFC West is going to come down to Kansas City and Oakland.
I do too.
And both of those teams are going to be in the playoffs, and they're going to be fun to watch this season, barring any kind of injury or anything like that. But I also think that McKenzie, that being Reggie McKenzie right now, is hungry enough that if the secondary does start to become a problem, I honestly think that Mike, we don't have to reset Mixer anymore. I feel that he may do Oakland, the fans, a favor and be aggressive on the trade market and try to get a cornerback and try to get someone in the secondary to help before they rip their hearts out and move them to Vegas. I can see him caring enough to do that. I don't know that Davis would, necessarily sign off on it, but I can see them looking at this going, you know what? Marshawn looks good right now. He's fresh off a year's rest. This is the year to use him to his fullest because next year we don't know what we're going to get.
Right.
Let's just put all of our eggs in one. Let's throw our hat in there. Let's get a corner. Let's get 2 corners. Let's get a safety.
Were they going to trade? They're not going to pick anybody up
That's
off
what I'm
the
saying.
wire. Yeah.
No, yeah, make a trade. Move a draft pick. Do something right now. Because let's be frank, the Raiders, they're not going to have a high draft pick. So even if they move a first round pick, it's going to be 24 through 30. What does that matter if you train that for a Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, hell, at this point, I think Raider fans would be ecstatic with getting to the Super Bowl, knowing that even if they lose, that they're there, and next season they just get better. So, and I think that takes off some of the sting, knowing that next year is the last year in Oakland.
Yeah.
So if you could get into that level, you leverage the future a little bit because the fans in Oakland aren't going to give a damn. They're going to be like, get rid of our draft picks. Whatever.
Who cares?
They're leaving. They're, well, not all of them. Obviously, some of them are going to follow. But I think it's Super Bowl or bust for the Raiders the next 2 seasons. And if it means you get rid of a draft pick of 1 through 3 to get some secondary help, because that's really the only glaring need I think that the Raiders really have right now.
Yeah.
You get on the phone. You do it.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
Dave says he's just here so he doesn't get fined. That's awesome. As a 49er fan, it pains me to say that I'm optimistic and I'm actually kind of excited to see where the Raiders go this year. I don't necessarily want to see them win everything just because I think that would be kind of sacrilegious for me as a Niner fan. But my wife's a Raider fan, and
remember,
happy wife, happy life.
You're a 49er fan. You can't root for anybody else because, remember, as a Kings fan, you can't root for anybody else or you get kicked out of King's Kingdom.
I don't care about that, but
You'll get kicked out of Niner Nation.
let me point this out to anybody who's married to someone that's way out of their league. If the wife says, hey, do me a favor, wish some good juju on my Raiders because I really want to see them win. And if you do, and then she just like drops her towel, guess who's praying to football gods that the Raiders are going to do well? This guy. I don't care.
So are you saying that you outkicked your coverage?
I outkicked my coverage tenfold. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean,
I've always kind of wanted to know the story behind that. I'm sure there's a good story behind you and her. Was she drunk or was she...
Dave says I just made my wife root for all my teams. No, that's fine. Mine does too. But I'm just saying, like, once you're married, if things start to, sometimes you need a perk. I mean, honestly, I've said it for years, and I'll never change this thing. My ideal situation is a Niner Raiders Super Bowl. The Niners had a chance a couple years ago. The Raiders, unfortunately, weren't very good. Now it's flopped. So maybe after the Raiders run, the Niners will get back up to prominence, and both teams will be good. I think that would be fantastic.
So you want a Las Vegas, San Francisco Super Bowl? It's not going to happen next year.
Yeah, but you're right. All right. Well, there goes that. The key is keeping them drunk. All right, cool, Dave. And Greg said he wanted to know the secret to me keeping Sheena now for almost 11 years. It's good medication. So,
what's that locked room that's back there too? There's something in there.
Don't worry about the locked room. That doesn't get discussed. I mean, Dave knows. Dave outkicked his coverage too.
You guys both kind of boomed it.
Yeah, we used to joke about being ogres, and it's true. And then sometimes you got something in some places that the women likes, and to our advantage, we both gave
She
our
likes big
wives
feet? She likes big feet?
We both gave our wives adorable kids, and I think that's a huge part of it. I mean, to be fair, Dave gave her a daughter, and then Grant hooked him up with a
that's true.
son.
Yeah.
But everything's good. I mean, so
That's mini Grant,
so the
right?
question is, would you rather have a shitty Niner team that's staying local or an awesome Raider team that's leaving?
Who asked that?
Dave. For me, I would... Well, hold on. How did he say this? Would you rather have a shitty Niner team that's staying local or an awesome Raider team that's leaving? For me, I'd take the Niners staying... I mean, the Niners aren't even really local anymore, but I mean, in the sense that they're the Niners still where they are, I guess I would take having them. I mean, we have a shitty Kings team. I wouldn't trade that for anything.
Yeah. Would you have if they moved to Seattle and gotten good?
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have followed the team in Seattle.
No.
I take that back. I probably would have watched them and rooted for them, given that the players were still the same. But as players started to dissipate and things started to change, I don't know that I would.
Yeah.
But I would take a losing season from the Kings for the next 10 years, as long as we get our Kings. You know,
Right.
my kids get to go to games. We got
Right.
all this other stuff. I mean,
I think the difference is the Raiders have already gone through this a couple of times. You know, they've gone through it where the Raiders have been all right. They moved to another city and won Super Bowls. And those fans down there are batshit crazy. The Raider fans as a whole are crazy, and they'll follow their team anywhere. So I think as a Raider fan, I think they would rather have a good Raider team because they're going to be fans.
oh yeah, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. I think the Niner fans, are completely different. I think if the Niners move, the Bay Area fan, for the most part, is not going to be, I don't know, Seattle or, Las Vegas 49ers fan or, wherever they are. Hell, I don't even know if they were Oakland 49ers, if they'd be fans.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to compare Niner fan to Raider fan with a team leaving, Raider fan follows their team. Most of the Raider fans follow their team everywhere, whereas I think most of the 49er fans would just hold on to legacy and remember what was, and they wouldn't. Yeah. They would be more of like a fantasy football fan and like follow the game,
right,
than a team. I think, honestly, and I mean, that's how I kind of would have been with the Kings, though. I think I would have been more of an NBA fan and appreciate.
I would have been a Warrior fan.
Really?
I would have been a Warrior fan in a heartbeat.
How good they were, or
out of fairness, I was a Warrior fan before the Kings moved to Sacramento, so it would be easy to go back to that as being a Warrior fan. But I probably would have been like you the first couple of years, rooted for the Kings, still a Kings fan, but as those players started fading away and all of a sudden it's no longer any part of the team that was in Sacramento, I'd be a Warrior fan.
See, I would pick a new team, whether it be football, baseball, whatever, but because I talk so much crap about people following winning teams, like
it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if they were winning or losing. I would be a Warrior fan.
For me, I would wait. I would wait until a team that I liked started to decline again before I jumped on.
Why?
Because I
don't get that. Why?
Because I talk so much shit about people like, oh, you only like them because they're good. Same thing we've talked about before. Why have I not jumped on the Sharks bandwagon? I want to start watching hockey. I want to consider myself a Sharks fan.
Who cares?
But they've been too good. I talk too much.
Who cares?
I talk too much shit about people. I don't know. I just can't do it.
I just don't get that.
Now,
that just doesn't.
In retrospect, if it happened, I bet you the next season I would be like, rah Warriors or whoever.
My guess is, and I'm pretty sure you followed them when they made the Stanley Cup Finals, and you were rooting for them. I know you did because I remember us talking about it. So I just get off of it. If you want to be a Sharks fan, be a Sharks fan.
Some of my best friends are Sharks fans, so I was rooting for them to do that. But God, I don't know. I don't know.
Who
man.
cares what other people think?
I'll say he's an idiot.
You shut up.
See, that's not fair. I don't have control of the soundboard.
I like how Dave put us in our place, or put me in my place, though, because basically he said, so question is, would you rather have a shitty Niner team that's staying local or a Raider team that's leaving? And then my answer, and he said, so in other words, would you trade places? And essentially, yeah, I guess I would. I mean, I would. It's hard. I feel bad for.
So by trading places, you mean you become a Raider fan?
I don't know. That would be. We're lucky enough that we had guys like Dave and everyone that put their ass on the line so that we didn't have to have that decision.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what I would have done should the Kings left.
Yeah. And
I don't know if I were a Raider fan, what I would do knowing that in 2 years, the Raiders are gone. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not like they're going like to Seattle, right? That's like 3 states away. That's like a 15-hour drive. Longer if you have kids.
And we talked about this last year when they were talking about
is
Vegas. The plane trip to Vegas is about 15 minutes longer than the drive to Oakland.
Yeah.
And by the time you pay tolls, by the time you pay for gas, by the time you pay for parking, the cost is not much more, and you can fly in and fly out the same day and not even have to have a hotel.
You have a carry-on and you're good.
Yeah. So
when we flew to Vegas 2 weeks ago, it took us an hour and 12 minutes to get there. Oakland on game day is going to take you more than an hour and 12 minutes to park.
That's true.
Because of traffic.
That's true.
And then the flight home, we caught the winds in the right direction at night. From Vegas to Sacramento, wheels up to wheels down was 56 minutes.
And you can't do that.
And you're not doing that leaving a game.
No. So there really is no reason.
And you can get fucking sloshed. Get an Uber to the airport on a plane, Uber home, and you don't even have to worry about a DUI.
Or you can take Caltrain, like Mike does.
Hi, this is Mike Barnbaum.
Oh man, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just like
I'm glad we don't have to make that decision. I'm glad I don't have to decide.
That's exactly what
that.
I'm saying, because I mean, literally, Dave put me on the spot there, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I would do in that situation. That's why I say I thank him and I thank everyone that helped with not putting us in that situation.
Yeah,
because,
absolutely.
It's just like, it's like picking a kid. Hey, you know what? Your kids, you got a divorce.
See, I can pick your kid. I can pick which is my favorite of your kids.
Yeah, but you're not hooked to my kids. It's like saying, hey, you got a divorce. Mom's moving to Seattle. You get to stay here. You got to pick one of the kids that you get to keep.
Natalie.
Really?
No, I don't know.
But I'm just saying, like...
I'm not saying Natalie. That was a joke. That was a joke.
Mike, you don't need to go name dropping. We get it.
What's he? No,
Don't forget, we have Carmichael Dave and Rusty Pravad and Mike Tavares and Grant Napier and Colonel Machant and Jeff Dorso and Kevin Johnson and Kevin Nagel and this and that. And
how do you type all those names so fast, Mike?
He probably has that on like auto text edit. He just copy and paste it down. Hey Siri, type out my favorite people. He's like right there.
I see.
That's awesome. Thanks, Siri.
Hey Siri.
It won't work for you.
Hey Siri.
There you go.
Type out my favorite people.
Sorry, Greg, I can't do that.
I can't do that. What
Why?
are you, pompous asshole with your British accent? You ever talk dirty to you?
Hey Siri.
We lost it.
What's the name of the backup quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers?
The quarterbacks for the 49ers are Brian Hoyer, C.J. Beathard, and Nick Mullins.
She says it right. God damn it. Oh, man. That's great. Oh, shit. So, fun story real quick here before we make our picks for next week. The Siri thing. So, you can have them say whatever you want, right? Name-wise. And I remember Natalie had to be 4. Maybe 3. And myself, Sheena, our friend Bennett, and another couple of our friends went out downtown to Bennett's Gay. So we went to the gay district downtown. It was super, cheap drinks, and we were just going out. And Bennett at one point hijacked Sheena's phone and changed her name in the phone for Siri.
Change Sheena's name?
Yeah. So the next morning, or like 2 mornings later, Natalie wakes up and she goes, "Hey Siri, what's the weather gonna be today?" Damn it. And Siri goes, "The weather's gonna be blah 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 blah, you stupid fucking bitch." And Natalie goes and just puts the phone down and just runs away crying. And I'm like, oh damn.
That's funny. I'm surprised she doesn't have a Siri complex for the rest of her life.
It was hilarious. Hey Siri, what is Apple going to do this Wednesday? God damn it. At 10 a.m. in Cupertino. Mike, shut up. Just wait. Rumors and rumors and rumors. Things are coming out.
Hey Siri.
Is this the Hey Siri show now?
I see a little silhouette of a man.
No, stop it. That's so long.
Scaramouche, will you do the fandango?
Here we go.
Thunderbolt and lightning.
Very,
Very,
very
very
frightening.
frightening me. Galileo, Galileo, Galileo,
All
Galileo.
right, knock it off.
All right, stop, Siri.
Hey, look, there's the. That's what it looks like in the new movie. part
looks,
of it.
yeah, scary
Yeah.
shit.
Right. Let's do our picks.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm not here to get back in the presidential race. But you never know. I could be swayed. America needs me. Okay, now it's time for the most luxurious, amazing, incredible picks in the world. Mine.
Keith's doing a story
I'll take
now.
the Ravens to top the Bengals, even though that doesn't make sense because cats eat birds. I'll also take the Rams to beat the Seahawks, but who really cares? My upset pick is the Eagles to beat the Giants, and my wild card is the Bills to sink the Dolphins.
All right, boys, you heard his picks. Now it's your turn. Greg B, who you got?
Keith Jogonanis is doing a show right now, apparently.
Oh, thanks, Keith.
Right? Well, that's all right. Whatever. Let's see here. Week 2.
Can I make them online? Do we put them right in?
I don't know if it's going to let us or not yet. Here we go. Can we make our picks for next week yet? Uno, dos, dos. Can we do week 2 yet?
Should be able to.
I don't think so. Nope, not yet. Sons of bitches. Nope. All right. Well, we're just going to have to just go through them and then we can make our picks later. Week 2 is Thursday Night Football. Texans at Bengals.
At Bengals. I think I'm going Cincy.
You know, I'm going to go Texans on that one. I'm going
Are you going to write these down?
to put them in my notes so I don't... wait, just save your own notes. Yeah. I'm gonna go Texans. I think Deshaun Watson gets his first start. I think he comes out like a ball of fire on national TV, and I'm gonna go Houston on that one. The new look Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens won 20-0 this week. The Browns hung tight with the Steelers 21-18.
I'm going Ravens. I can't pick the Browns yet.
I'm gonna take the upset. I'm gonna take Cleveland.
Wow, look at you.
Bears at Bucks. Bucks coming off their bye week. Bears with Mike Glennon at the helm.
They're going to be rested. They're going to be ready to go. It's at Tampa, so there's going to be the crowd factor. And you're going to hear that.
Assuming Irma doesn't wipe the stadium off the map. I mean, is there any chance that game doesn't get played?
No. Because Irma calmed down a little bit.
Okay.
She went from Category 5 to Category 2.
Well, she hit landfall. She was a 4.
Well, she was a 4. Then she bumped up to a 5. And then, but they were predicting that she wasn't going to hit Tampa until late tonight. And it's already been through Tampa as far as I know.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
I'm taking Tampa.
Yeah, I'm too.
Vikings, we haven't seen them play yet. They play tomorrow night at the Steelers.
I'm taking Pittsburgh.
I'm probably going to do that one as well, but I'll make my judgment after I watch.
Oh, come on. That's not how we do it.
You can make changes.
No, we're making these.
If Ben Roethlisberger gets struck by lightning tomorrow and doesn't get to play, you're not going to change your pick.
We always make our picks on Sunday night.
And we've always had ability to change them if we had to.
Yeah, but nobody knows that, so you got to make a pick.
Fine, Steelers.
Fuck. Jesus Christ.
Patriots and Saints. We haven't seen the Saints play yet either. They play Minnesota tomorrow night.
Where are they at?
In the Dome.
In the Dome.
Can you really see the Patriots losing 2 in a row?
I actually can.
Yeah, but can you see the Saints not perform? Can you see Drew Brees not having a game of his life in the Dome?
Yeah, but we haven't seen the Saints play, so I'm going to wait until tomorrow to make my pick for that.
I'm taking the Saints.
I'm going to take the Saints too.
Eagles looked really good at the Chiefs, who looked really good.
I'm going to take the Chiefs.
So am I. I'm going to take game of the week on that one too.
Shocker.
Titans at Jaguars. Jaguars coming off a big win. Well, I shouldn't say big win, but an impressive win over the Texans today, and the Titans losing to Oakland.
That's a tough one.
I'm taking the Jaguars 2 in a row.
I'm going to take the Titans.
Cardinals at the Colts. We don't even need to talk about that one. Colts lost 46-9 today. I don't think they're going to bounce back. Buffalo Bills at the Carolina Panthers.
I'm taking Carolina.
As am I. Notice I've switched my alliance from the Bills every week to the Jaguars so far.
There you have.
Jets at Raiders. That's an easy one. Raiders home opener.
The Raiders.
Dolphins off their bye week at the Chargers.
Well, we haven't seen them play. We haven't seen either one of those teams play.
I say he's an idiot.
So I think I'm just going to become a Raider fan because the Niners suck and go with the Dolphins. No, I don't know.
I'm taking the Raiders.
The Raiders?
Did I say the Raiders?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, the Chargers.
I'm going to take the Dolphins.
You trust Cutler?
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
There's going to be 14 people at this game in
I'll
LA.
take the Chargers.
I'm taking the Chargers also. Actually, you know what? No. Because there's going to be no crowd. There's going to be more Dolphin fans than there are Charger fans.
But you said it already. Do you trust Jay Cutler?
I don't think he's going to need... I think Jay Ajayi is going to just go nuts.
No.
49ers at Seahawks.
Really?
I'm taking the Chickens. Redskins looked... Cousins didn't look good at all. At the Rams. So there's 2 games in LA next weekend. Rams.
Probably at the same time, too, huh?
Yep. No. 10 minutes later. 20 minutes later.
Same time.
What time do you take? What team do you take? Redskins or Rams?
I'm going to take the Rams.
I'm going to take the Skins on bounce back. Residence NS is what it said there. Redskins. Cowboys at Broncos. Well, we haven't seen the Broncos play yet. I'm taking the Cowboys. As long as Ezekiel Elliott's playing, I'm taking the Cowboys.
I'm going to take the Cowboys too.
Packers at Falcons. That's going to be a good game, the Sunday night game. And that's the opening of the Mercedes-Benz Dome or whatever the hell they're calling it.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Falcons.
I'm going to take the Packers in an upset.
And the Monday night game, the Detroit Lions, winners today over Arizona, at the New York Giants, losers today to the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm taking the Lions.
I am as well.
So we got a couple games difference this week.
Yep. Let's see here. I hope Cutler smokes on the field. Probably will. Oh boy, here we go.
As long as he wears clothes, I'm all right.
TJ, wouldn't the Chargers crowd at StubHub Center be like what you see in Oakland A's home crowds, about 14 people? Yeah, probably. No, I think the A's will have more.
That'd be a good over and under. Who has a bigger crowd, the Chargers or the A's next weekend?
I just really don't know what it is about the goddamn LA crowd that will not give the Chargers a chance. And
I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Are there so many loyal, and this is what we talked about when we were going back and forth with Carmichael Dave earlier, is there so many loyal Raider fans that went from Oakland to LA and then stayed with the Raiders when they left LA back to Oakland that they are not accepting the Chargers there? Because
it could be. It very well could be. Here's the other thing. The LA went for 20 years without a team.
And now they're like, here's 2 of them.
Yeah, and 2 shitty teams. So they go from having to basically find a new team to root for and a new favorite team to all of a sudden having 2 really crappy teams. And I don't know that...
Oh, no! We suck again!
I don't know that they were really ready for one team, let alone 2 within 2 years. So I'm sure you're going to have the old Rams fans are going to come back. I don't see the Chargers pulling a whole lot of fans from San Diego because it was so contentious, the move.
Well, there's that, but I really think that it's Raider fan that stayed loyal after they left, and they're like, fuck the Chargers.
Could be, absolutely.
That would be like, to me, that would be like if the Arizona Cardinals moved into like Berkeley, and Niner fans are like, no,
yeah,
or something. I don't know.
No, it would be like it would be like Kings moved to Seattle, the Lakers moved to Sacramento.
Yeah, or like the Thunder moved back to Seattle, and they're like, or another divisional team or something. I don't know. Yeah, I really just think that it's all of those analogies were terrible. By the way,
they were.
I really think it's Raider fan that's just like, no. Why no? Like any other team that comes to LA, sure, we're supporting them because they're better than the Rams. But you're really bringing one of our division rivals for the last 20 years into our city where it's heavily rooted for that. And I think a lot of those fans, I think if the Raiders were staying in Oakland, the Chargers would have a better chance to convert some of those fans over because it's the hometown team. The Raiders are moving to Vegas. Those fans have been waiting for the Raiders to get closer to LA forever. Now they're 4 hours away. That's like a no-brainer. Like, fuck, we're just going to wait 2 more years, and then we have our Raiders back.
Right.
Because I think that's how a lot of the Raider fans are looking at it, as we're essentially getting our Raiders back.
Right.
So we're just going to sit tight. Like, we're not going to take over the new team. I think the Chargers were the dumbest dumbest ownership on the planet, moving to a demographic, knowing that one of your rivals used to be there, and they're moving to a place closer than they've ever been before, aside from being back in their city, for them to root for them again.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, you dumbass. But then again, I mean, who has ever thought that the ownership of the Chargers wasn't a bunch of dumbasses? You know what I mean? So... anything else? Anything other sports news? There was a UFC thing last night. Cyborg won. I know that much. And other things. Anything else though?
I got nothing right now.
It was half full at best. Yeah, Barnum, the Niners stadium today looked empty as shit. It was pretty sad, but...
Wait. So, Mike, what side of the field did you sit on? The sunny side or the shady side?
He sat on the sunny side.
Okay. Was the shady side more crowded than the sunny side?
We'll wait 30 seconds for him to tell us.
Don't leave me hanging, Mike.
LA Coliseum is more suited for USC football. I can't wait for Kroenke's Taj Mahal to open in Inglewood for the Rams and the Chargers. What? Are you just a fan of stadiums, Mike? Like... if the Birmingham, Alabama Corn Bullets or whatever, like some new team came in and they built a new stadium, are you going to hop on a fucking bus and run over there? Shady side was more crowded.
Yeah, so I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Cool. Well, for Greg, I am Greg. It's been an hour and 27 minutes. We will see you all next week.
Night, Larry.